There's a truth about aging we don't often admit. Sometimes it's not the big health events that shake us, but the little things. The quiet, everyday routines that suddenly become harder than they used to be. A neighbor of mine, Helen, 74, once confided in me something she had kept secret even from her daughter. "Sam," she said softly, "I can't wipe myself the way I used to. My arms don't reach right, my back won't bend, and some days I dread the bathroom more than I dread the doctor's office." She laughed as she said it, but I could see the strain in her eyes. Because it wasn't just about hygiene, it was about independence, about the slow loss of something she had taken for granted her whole life. And I've heard this story many times, told in different ways. My friend Albert, a retired bus driver, once admitted he avoided visiting his bowling league because he worried about odor. And Mary, a widow in our church, said she skipped overnight trips with friends because she didn't want anyone to discover her struggle. Then there was Daniel, a proud Marine veteran who told me he'd faced combat without flinching, but felt humiliated when his arthritis made it impossible to twist enough to clean himself. He said, "Sam, it's strange. Bullets didn't scare me, but this does." That confession showed me just how deeply dignity ties into even the smallest routines. And caregivers see this too. A woman named Carol, who cares for her husband after a stroke, told me the hardest part wasn't the medical machines or the therapy appointments. It was watching him struggle in the bathroom. She said, "He feels like less of himself, and I just want him to know he's still the man I married." These stories remind us it's not weakness, it's not laziness, it's simply a body that doesn't move the way it once did. Arthritis stiffens the fingers, hips ache, backs complain with every twist, and something we did without thought for 60 years suddenly feels like a mountain to climb. We don't talk about it much, sometimes because of embarrassment, sometimes because we think we're the only ones. But this quiet struggle is more common than most realize. And ignoring it doesn't just affect cleanliness. It affects dignity, confidence, and our willingness to stay connected with others. So today, let's open the door on this private subject. Let's talk about real, gentle solutions that restore comfort and independence. Because you're not alone in this, and you deserve better. Before we dive in, if you find comfort in honest conversations like this, hit subscribe. We share stories that don't just pass time, they help make sense of it. Why toilet paper fails us with age. For most of our lives, toilet paper has been the standard. But here's the thing. Regular toilet paper wasn't designed with aging bodies in mind. It's rough on sensitive skin, especially when wiping is frequent. It doesn't always clean thoroughly, and most importantly, it demands bending, twisting, and reaching. The very movements that become more difficult as the years pass. I once heard Robert, a man at our community centre, joke that toilet paper should carry a warning label. "Not safe after 70." Everyone chuckled, but behind the humour was truth. What was once automatic can become awkward, even painful, and pretending otherwise just deepens the silence around it. But here's the good news. We live in a time where better options exist. Tools, habits, and small adjustments that make hygiene easier, gentler, and safer. Practical solutions, gentle tools for everyday dignity. Over the years, I've seen friends, family, and even myself experiment with different approaches. And when you finally discover the right one, it feels like a weight lifting off your shoulders. 1. Soft wipes. A kindness for the skin. Pre-moistened wipes are often the first step. Easier to hold, softer on skin, and more effective than dry paper. Some are infused with aloe or vitamin E for soothing comfort. Just remember, don't flush them. Even the so-called flushable ones clog pipes. Keep a small covered bin by the toilet. It's a small change that prevents bigger problems. Portable water sprayers, confidence anywhere. Her friend June carries a small, refillable bottle when she travels. Filled with lukewarm water, it allows a discreet rinse after using the restroom. She told me it gave her the courage to visit her grandchildren in another state without worry. Water cleans more thoroughly than wiping and is gentle for anyone with hemorrhoids or irritation. Peri bottles, small, simple, effective. Originally meant for new mothers, these little squeeze bottles are now beloved by seniors. Light, easy to use, and perfect for bedside care or nighttime routines. Fill with warm water, rinse, pat dry. No straining required. 4. Bidet attachments, a long-term upgrade. For those ready to invest, a bidet seat attachment can change everything. One button, a gentle spray, and you're clean without twisting. Yes, there's an upfront cost, and yes, it takes a little learning. But many people say they'll never go back. And studies show they reduce infection risk and increase comfort. 5. Handheld shower heads. The fresh start. For those managing incontinence or frequent irritation, a handheld shower sprayer offers a full reset. Adjustable settings provide a gentle wash, and the water does what wiping can't. It's not as quick as other options, but it restores confidence in a way nothing else can. 6. Reusable washcloths. Gentle and green. Some folks prefer moistened cloth squares that can be washed and reused. Eco-friendly, chemical-free, and very soft on fragile skin. They require regular laundry, but many find comfort in the routine. 7. Toilet wands. Reaching without strain. For those with severe mobility limits, long-handled wands that hold tissue or wipes can restore independence. They take a bit of practice, but once mastered, they allow dignity without relying on another person. Beyond products, little adjustments in the bathroom can transform daily life. Grab bars and toilet frames provide steady balance for sitting and standing. Raised toilet seats reduce bending strain. Padded seat cushions relieve pressure on hips and tailbone. Sitting while wiping, an easy shift that provides more stability than standing. Torso binders for those carrying extra weight around the midsection, gently compressing the belly so reaching becomes easier. Sometimes the smallest shift, a bar to hold, an extra inch of seat height, removes fear and replaces it with confidence. Hygiene challenges don't just start at the skin. They're also connected to digestion and movement. Constipation is a silent culprit. Medications, less via dehydration, or reduced activity all play a part. Hard, sticky stools make cleanup harder, requiring more wiping and more strain. But the solution doesn't always come from a bottle. A little more water. Foods like oats, beans, and pears. A short walk after meals. These small habits soften the process, making hygiene smoother and less stressful. When the inside runs more smoothly, the outside care becomes far easier. When Helen tried a bidet attachment, she called me weeks later. Her voice was lighter. "Sam," she said, "I feel like I've got a piece of myself back." And she's not alone. Albert found relief in using a toilet wand. Mary found comfort in switching to soft wipes. Daniel, the Marine, discovered that a simple peri bottle gave him control again. Carol, the caregiver, said installing a grab bar by the toilet gave her husband, and her the peace of mind they both desperately needed. Different solutions, same outcome. The return of independence, and with it, the confidence to live more fully. This isn't just about gadgets, it's about dignity, about removing the fear that holds us back from socializing, from travel, from living without constant self-consciousness. Bathroom struggles may sound small, but they cut to the core of who we are. They touch privacy, self-respect, even our willingness to step into the world. But here's what I've learned. Your worth doesn't shrink because your body needs help. It grows in the wisdom of adapting. You are not weak for choosing an easier way. You are strong for choosing dignity over silence. Aging isn't about surrender, it's about adjustment. It's about saying, my comfort matters, my independence matters. And when you choose a tool or a new habit that makes life easier, what you're really choosing is self-respect. Maybe your solution will be a soft wipe. Maybe it'll be a water sprayer, a bidet, or simply sitting instead of standing. Whatever it is, remember, it's not a sign of decline, it's a sign of wisdom. So if you've been quietly struggling, let me remind you, you are not broken, you are human, and you're not alone. Here, on Living with Wisdom, we believe small changes bring big relief, and we believe every senior deserves to feel comfortable, clean, and dignified. And perhaps that's the deeper lesson. Aging teaches us to measure strength differently, not in how tightly we grip the past, but in how gracefully we adapt to the present. Every adjustment we make, every tool we embrace, is really a declaration. I still matter, my dignity still matters. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message helped, I'd be grateful if you liked, subscribed, and shared it with someone who might need encouragement. Sometimes one small conversation can lift a heavy weight from another person's shoulders. Take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember, we're walking this path together, one compassionate step at a time.